Uh, you were recently nominated for the SAG Ensemble Prize for your work in Fences. You were nominated alongside your co-stars Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, Michael T. Williamson, Jovan Adepo, just to name a few of this extraordinary cast.
Naya Sidney, yeah.
Um, how did it feel when you got the news that you and everyone else had been nominated for this prize?
Well, it was absolutely wonderful because not only is being, the ensemble award is for everyone, and it takes everyone to help you do that. So it's for the actors, but also, you feel like everybody involved in the project is included in that. And the other thing is that it's from your peers, from the Screen Actors Guild. So it means an awful lot. It's like you tried a case before the Supreme Court, and the decision is looking good.
Indeed. So let's talk about making the leap from stage to film. Now, you had performed this play along with most of the cast who are in the film, excluding the two young actors. And you got a Tony nomination for your role, which congratulations on that. So making the leap from stage to screen, was it a difficult process or was it an easy one because you guys had performed this so many times?
Well, it was freeing but there had been 6 years that passed between the time we did the play and we began shooting. So and we had a wonderful rehearsal period, and we were in Pittsburgh, and so but it was liberating and freeing because on the stage you have to have so many concerns about that third eye where you are in relation to the audience, and that you can be heard to the back row, and there's some other concerns. But when you're on set and you just have that life level of truth you find in the eyes of the other actor, and you always start from that in the theater and you raise it to the optics of the space, but you don't have to raise the optics in the actual location. So it was very liberating and freeing to do it on film, and you had all that history of having done it on the stage. So it's really the most optimum circumstance to do a great piece of dramatic literature like what August had written.
Now, as I understand it, you guys did a few weeks of rehearsal to get the new additions up to speed and just to, I guess, find new nuances that you could do in the film. Take us into the rehearsal process.
Well, we went into the house that we were going to use, and we went on the locations we were going to use, and we operated daily in a church where the floor, all the rooms of the house were taped down, the backyard, and so on and so forth. So, and we just re-examined the text, and got accustomed to talking to each other in rooms, as I say, to reach that life level of truth. And it was really, again, liberating and freeing. And it also rededicated you to why we were there, really helped you focus on this wonderful, wonderful dialogue that August had given us.
Speaking of August Wilson, you've done, I think, 8 or 9 of the Pittsburgh cycle plays. Is that right?
Yeah, 8 of the 10. Yeah.
Gotcha. So talk a bit about August Wilson's legacy and about doing those plays. I mean, you must have a really deep understanding for his work and for his words.
Well, I'd say I have a growing understanding because it's like all great literature. You keep on learning from it. You keep on finding things the poet has given you that help you understand the themes and the topics and the things discussed. But it's also because he wrote a play for each decade of the 20th century. He wanted to draw your attention to history and to legacy. And so it's also like a family album because, you have family that lived in all those decades. And if you're fortunate enough to know a member of the family that kept a family album, you can literally go and say, here's somebody that was born in, say, 1899, or here they are in 1911, here they are in the 30s or the 40s. And so it's like a family album, if you don't have one, to really kind of get an understanding of how your family traversed the decades and how you arrived here where you are in the 21st century because of the journey of those in the other decades. And also, August is helping you understand that if they could get through Jim Crow, if they could get through the periods that they went through, that you can certainly make it through the periods that you have ahead of you.
Absolutely. So then going off of that, your character, what did you learn about him as you were doing the performance on stage? And then what new things did you learn about him as you were going into the film?
Well, you know, I on stage, one of the things that I learned was how much he identified with Troy's outside child, as the saying is, Lions, because of Bono's own lack of contact with his father, and also that he sees these guys as being very fortunate to know the man that he knows, and they don't really know the man that he knows because he met him in prison, but they have a father in their life. So, but you see, everybody, it's all relative, as the saying is, and talking about family is relative. And so, you know, someone will say, like Lions, you know, you weren't there when I needed you to be there. But here, the man that's listening is saying, my father was never there. Yours was there sometimes, and he's there now. Then the other child who lived in the house, Lions will look at him and say, man, you know, you got to have him in the house with you as you were growing up. So it's all relative, you know, but that's kind of what I learned, the vision, how Bono sees the world. And one of the great things is Denzel allows you, when you don't have a lot of lines, when I play a character who doesn't say a lot, but he's present for a lot. And Denzel chooses to let you know what Bono is hearing and what he's thinking, because he allows me to be shot in times that I don't have anything to say. Now that's a director really telling the story. And Denzel did that. He took care of every other actor's performance before he turned the camera on himself. And so you really do get to see a character's journey, even though they're not speaking at the time.
Right. I mean, looking at the film again, your character is present for a lot of it. He's an observer, even when he doesn't have a lot to say. He's always watching and listening.
And he has a point of view about what he hears, you know. So, yeah.
And of course, on film, you're able to, I guess, through the camera, see more of what's going on inside.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. And that, again, that's in the hands of the director, and Denzel, you know, was very committed to letting everyone see the texture, the levels inside August's story. And do that, he had to show other characters when they were hearing, even when they weren't talking. Now,
speaking of Denzel, you know, you're a real confidant. Bono is a real confidant of Troy's, and you have a lot of great scenes together. So talk a little bit about working with Denzel, both as an actor and as a director, him wearing those two hats.
Well, it was a seamless process. He's so holistic about the way he did it, and so zen about the way he directs. I mean, if he doesn't have anything to say to you, he doesn't say anything. And when he does have something to say, he says it really concisely, and so that it only takes a few words for you to understand what he's saying. And then sometimes he'll choose to not say anything, but he can still make you aware of what moment he'd like you to re-examine. Like he will stop you at a certain place and then say, "Oh, never mind. No need for me to say anything. You'll figure that out." And it allows you to re-examine the moment without actually saying anything to you. But he also is giving you confidence and letting you know that he trusts you. And that's really a wonderful thing for an actor to receive from a director and an actor who is as brilliant as Denzel.
Right, absolutely. Now, you shot this in Pittsburgh, which is where Wilson was from, and wrote all these great plays and set all these great plays in. Talk about shooting it there, the significance of shooting it there as opposed to shooting it anywhere else or on a back lot.
Well, it gave everything an authenticity, and it also let me know, having known August, that he would rejoice in this, that he'd be just thrilled to know that that was happening in Pittsburgh, and that there were citizens of the Hill District who were indeed in the shots and living on that street. That it was, and it was easily a street that August. He had a family who lived not far from there, and there were stores that he frequented, and it was one when some of the street names are we'd go past a street that was named Lions, and we had the character in the play Lions. And if you know the other plays, and I know quite a few of them, I know them all, but I've been in 8 of them, and you see street names that were character names in his plays, and so you knew that he was inspired to write something because he knew this street, and that was invaluable to letting you know what the mission was.
Now, speaking of those other plays, when I saw the film for the first time, you were there, and Denzel and Viola, everyone was there for a Q&A afterwards, and the question was asked, why did it take so long for Wilson's work to come to the screen? And Denzel replied, well, I don't care. I'm going to make the rest of them. So are you going to be involved in any of those? Can you give us any kind of insight into what's next there?
Now, listen, I was very fortunate to be involved in this one. And I would hope to be, but I have no idea whether I will be. But if called, I will certainly serve, I can tell you. And but I rejoice in the fact that they'll be done. But I cannot tell you right now, just being a part of this and this rollout right now, and to quote an old blues song, I had my fun. If I don't get well no more.
Indeed. This film's getting ready to open on Christmas Day. It's already gotten wonderful notices, as we said, nominations from SAG, nominations from the Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, on and on and on. When it opens to the public and every person gets to finally see this movie, what do you hope they take from it?
The precious value of family and extended family, and how much people can mean to each other. And as Denzel told us in the beginning, just always remember the love, because all these characters love each other. So consequently, they can disappoint and hurt each other. And also that, if you're carrying something for too long, it's time to lay it down and get the healing that forgiveness can give you. And that's just a few things. There's so much wisdom in it, and it depends on what you bring to it as to what you'll carry away, because whatever it is that you require, whatever problem there is in your life, great literature always speaks to you very personally. So there's not an academic or scholarly answer to this. There's an individual answer to this, and it depends on what's happening in your life as to what you walk away with.
Well, it's a great movie, and certainly for anybody who hasn't had the pleasure of seeing the play, it's a great production of that as well. Stephen, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Pickles. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about.
Private joke between us, yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
Fellow alumni will understand.
Okay, all right.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.